Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, crypto miners. Yes, Wolverine, you're muted. Very good. So, welcome everyone. I see we have Jared here with us. We are gonna presentation today is a project called Sushi, or for some people, SushiSwap. And we have Jared Gray here with us. Hello, Jared. Welcome to Crypto Miners.
Hey Mary, how you doing? Good
I'm
morning from
great.
good morning from my side.
Oh, you have morning. Of course, you're in America, right?
Yeah, yeah, in Florida.
In Florida, very early then, maybe even.
Not too early. It's at 10 a.m. here, so
Okay,
uh,
you had your coffee already.
yeah.
Great. So, yeah, it's an honor to have you here, Jared. We are gonna jump into the presentation and yes, a very warm welcome to you. It's lovely to have you here at Crypto Miners and also everyone who are joining, very welcome. Please retweet so everyone can know that we're here and don't miss this opportunity to get to know Sushi or SushiSwap a bit better. So Jared, what is it now? Is it Sushi or SushiSwap?
I mean, technically it's SushiSwap when you're referring to the DEX, right? To the
Mm-hmm.
exchange product. And Sushi is the overall product for, all of the secondary market products. Like we had the lending product, Kashi or Kashi, Miso. We have our upcoming perpetual DEX platform in partnership with Say Network. So those types of things, fall under the Sushi brand. But Sushi
Yeah,
Swap,
okay.
DEX, yeah,
So it's not wrong to say SushiSwap, but sushi is all over the name of, like the
yeah,
umbrella.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So sushi is a very good meal also, in my opinion. So what's your favorite sushi, Jared, before we start?
Uh, yeah, actually, my favorite I'm just like a regular old California roll guy. So that and salmon.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. Very good. So let's start. Before we start, I also want to say that we do not give any financial advice during this session, but we wish to give you more knowledge about this project and help you a bit on your way in your own research. So, Jared, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been with sushi and what's your role in sushi?
Yeah, I've been at Sushi now since the start of October of last year, and it was after I guess nearly a year-long search for new executive management that the team had gone through, and there was quite an exhaustive uh, public search for the new head chef, and it went on. I think maybe it went on for like 2.5 months before they had the community vote and the DAO uh, elect um, elect me, but there were several other candidates in the race, and it was pretty much like a a political uh, process for getting a position in government. You had to
Wow.
politic with it and stuff like that. Put together your goals for the platform and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
And how
But
come they choose you? Did they tell you?
I think it was based on ideas and experience. I mean, I've been in crypto for a little over 7 years now, and I've been building in the space. I ran an exchange before this one. It was a centralized exchange, but the principles, the economic principles are similar.
Hmm.
And so, the problems that Sushi was facing with kind of just organizational efficiency and product stack and revenue generation, those things in principle are the same between a centralized exchange and Decentralized Exchange. So I think it was just experience and ideas, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah, that's good though. So congratulations for your new
Thank
job
you.
then back then. All right, so how big is the team now behind Sushi, or who is really running it? Because it's community driven mostly, right?
Yeah, so if you count all of the contractors that we have on staff, maybe we're at like 20 people, maybe a little less than that. But we have people that come in and do specific jobs, and then when their time or the job needed is complete, they move on, or they're not full-time contributors. They're contracted. So I would say if you want to count full-time contributors, we're probably somewhere around like 15.
All right. But can we maybe go back to, if you know this, why did Sushi start and how did it start and who started it? What was the problem you were trying to solve with Sushi back then?
Yeah, Sushi started as the original fork of Uniswap. And so if anyone is familiar with the space, I'm sure they're familiar with Uniswap, and if not SushiSwap, definitely
Hmm.
any. But you know, it started as the first kind of official fork, and kind of infamously or famously, however you look at it, had the first large, what's considered like a vampire attack on liquidity, by offering, mining rewards for liquidity providers to come and migrate their liquidity from Uniswap to Sushi, and incentivizing them, with those rewards. And so I think at one time, Sushi had close to $4.5 billion in total TVL. The liquidity mining event or vampire attack attracted over $1 billion in liquidity initially, and yeah, since then, Sushi is focused a little bit differently on its approach, and I think has taken more of like a horizontal product development approach. So like not just DEX products or improvements in the product stack of the DEX. So that's changed our business model a little bit. I think since coming on, I've realigned us with the original purpose a little bit more, and I think how we're doing horizontal product development is more economical now, and so that we can get feature parity with our current product stack and the DEX, um, innovative again, and track back some of the liquidity and market share that Sushi has given up over the last couple of years.
Hmm. I mean, there's a bear market now, people say. So are you taking the opportunity to build further, or how is the bear market affecting Sushi?
Um, how is the bear market affected? I mean, pretty much, bear markets are just a liquidity flight event.
Hmm.
So being an exchange, you just lose volume, you lose liquidity, you lose attention. Revenues essentially just go down, and so you have to spend the time looking at ways to optimize your product and serve the customers that remain better, continue to build so that you can grab market share in the marketplace from other competitors who may not have been um, as focused on the customer experience and innovating their product stack. And
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, we've been doing that since I came on, and the team had been, picking up the pieces from some dramatic events within Sushi's history. And so when I came on, we really just have been focused on those things, making the product stack more efficient, and
Yeah, I
increase
wanted to
revenue.
ask you that what was your the main purpose of hiring you? Does Sushi want to achieve with you at the steering wheel, or how you can call it?
Yeah, I think the main thing was having someone who can give, I don't want to say vision, but maybe help direct the team where they need to be focused with their efforts so that the business can thrive again. And I think the market also, for some reason, looks to people, traditionally at the head of these protocols, or if it's, a centralized product, business model, um, and wants to see someone kind of directing or giving guidance to where things can go. And I think
Yeah.
it's a portion of all of that.
So, I mean, nobody really knows when it's gonna take off for real again, but how are you preparing now for that? What's the next step, or what are you gonna do, or what is Sushi gonna do to be up there among the first, or yeah, the top ones? Because so much is happening since Sushi started, right? So many new swaps are coming out, and new decks and secs, and yeah, lots of new participants for the run to the top. So how is Sushi going to take a place up there?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a whole AMA session.
Yeah, let's do it.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of facets to being successful with any protocol, and I think with Sushi specifically, it's how do you maintain value for those people who are providing liquidity on your exchange? How do you incentivize um, traders to come and use your exchange? And how do you um, secure those partnerships that raise your profile, whether it's through like product stack innovation or marketing? There's a lot of efforts we put into the business development side of the business that are kind of like the unsung heroes. A lot of deal making, if you will. Who's going to use who and how it's going to benefit each one of the teams and the protocols and stuff like that goes on. Um, so yeah, it's a multi faceted approach, and I don't think it's dissimilar to just traditional business. I mean, these protocols are all immutable and anyone can use them, build on them, but kind of, um, the
But
teams that are developing. Good.
would you say that you have found your way or your niche already, or are you searching for it, or I mean, if you can reveal what's coming next, or what you're trying to niche yourself as to get, well, to get special out there among everyone. I mean, the name is is special. I like the name, but what else is Sushi gonna do for? As you said, you asked lots of questions. Let's see if you have some of the answers also already, or are you still searching?
Yeah, so I mean, what we're focused on, I mean, is essentially taking this product stack we have now, improving it, and integrating in um, kind of an innovative way or manner in which we bring more swap opportunities to the users that use our platform. So um, one way we're doing that is through integrating our new DEX aggregator router, which allows us to make price swap routes that currently wouldn't be possible for our users and our liquidity providers on Sushi available now. So there are more opportunities to swap all kinds of different assets that we wouldn't otherwise support, or better pricing for assets that we currently have, but maybe liquidity on Sushi is only such that, supplemental liquidity elsewhere being aggregated into that route would give a better price to the trader, to the swapper. And so that's where we're focused and how we're making it work for us, where maybe, when you compare us to 1inch or someone like that, CalSwap, because we still command quite a lot of liquidity, about $500 million in locked liquidity in our platform, we're able to offer smart bias routing for our liquidity providers in certain pools in most of the swaps. So we're able to exponentially increase the amount of volume for idle and underutilized liquidity that's currently on Sushi. So the value proposition for anyone or for quite a lot now, I don't say anyone or everyone, but for most of the liquidity providers on Sushi, once this is integrated, which it should be in the next few weeks, they'll notice an increased amount of swap volume and revenue coming through their pools for the assets for which they have committed liquidity. So no one else really does it that way in the space, and we think that it's a really nice tie-in for value between the traders who use our platform and the liquidity providers who are there to earn fees off of their liquidity, right? So they want us to provide swaps and volume so that they can make money, and this is a way that we feel we can do that and become more competitive and innovative in the space.
Yeah. Shall we go through the things or the features that you have, because it's not just a swap. There are lots of other things that Sushi is, as you said. It's like the umbrella. Let's go through all the raindrops or sushi sushi bites. What do you call it? You have the swap. What else is there that we could talk about, Jared?
Well, I think that the swap's the most important. I mean, we've deprecated Kashi, which was our lending platform, because resources with the team at the time were such that we needed to focus on the core product stack to get back to a competitive level.
So
which
Kashi
was
is no more then, or?
Yeah, Kashi's not something we're focused on, and then Misar Launchpad is something that's permissionless. Anyone can use it, but we're not actively developing it anymore. We're pretty much just focused on the DEX, making that as competitive and robust as possible, and then the perpetual DEX platform that we have coming in probably Q2, Q3 on the same network, which is a perpetual futures platform. So we can compete with DYDX and GMX and stuff like that. And
Okay.
we have our NFT marketplace, Show You, which is currently in beta, public beta, and we'll be going to mainnet in the next few weeks. So we're focused there, but mostly on the DEX and the exchange side of the industry.
So the NFT marketplace is coming soon, and that you have a special name for that also, right?
Yes, it's called Show You, SHO or
Yeah.
YU. Yeah.
That's also some kind of sushi related word, right?
Yeah, they're all Japanese words, and so
Yeah.
that's traditionally been the kind of branding, is that Sushi was a Japanese kind of anime brand, and the names for the products were based on like Japanese culture and stuff like that.
So who really started sushi? Was that Japanese community or Japanese people? Is that why it's called sushi? I can't hear you, Jared. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, originally it was Chef Nomi, which was like a pseudo-anonymous person um, that forked it from Uniswap, put it up, and then handed it over to the community. And
And they're
um,
still anonymous. Don't know who it is.
pseudo-anonymous, but yeah, their identity was never fully revealed.
Okay. That seemed to be the trend in crypto, right? Lots of secrets
Yeah,
with
it's
Satoshi.
yeah, I
That's
mean,
interesting.
lots of products and protocols and stuff like that have pseudo-anonymous or anonymous founders, or you know, um, people who started these things, but quite a lot that are fully doxed as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
Sushi.
true. Mm-hmm. All right, but you do have two different coins or tokens, right? There is the Sushi and the X Sushi. Can you tell us about those and the difference between them?
Yeah, so Sushi is the native token for the exchange, and X Sushi is the essentially it's like the governance governance and rev share token, so you can bond your sushi in the staking contracts, and get X sushi, and then you'll have governance voting rights where you can vote on proposals. And we traditionally had what was called the sushi bar, which gave rev share in the exchange volume to X sushi holders who were staked in the um, in the sushi bar. But a couple months ago, part of the revitalization plan that we put in place is redirecting those fees back to the treasury so that we can build up a bigger war chest. So right now, XSushi is focused on just governance, but in the future, with our new tokenomics that we've put out maybe a month and a half ago, the value accrual mechanism will get turned back on and redirected back to XSushi. So it's a governance and rev share token versus just the main token.
So if I want to make money with sushi, what's the best? I mean, no financial advice, but what can I do? What are the choices here? I can provide liquidity, but if I'm not into that, what else is there to do to help and maybe earn some money?
Yeah, I mean, being a liquidity provider is going to be where you have the best value as a sushi holder or as a participant in the sushi ecosystem. As a sushi holder, right now, the governance side of things is the main utility for the token. You can go to our Earn tab on the website, and all of the different farms that we have available are there and listed, and you can filter by APY, and find something that's suitable to what you're looking for in terms of pool or asset risk and stuff like that. So for now, it's mostly being a liquidity provider, holding the token for governance and additional utility that we have planned. But most of what is coming in terms of value for token holders is going to be in the revamp of the product stack. We have some other things planned too, like rebates for high volume traders to hold tokens, stuff like that. But yeah, for now, it's being a liquidity provider.
Okay. I see now. I went to this Earn page. I see there are lots of different to choose from. Yes. And you have other app streaming. But if I want to vote on the DAO, how many tokens do I need to hold? Is there a limit or a minimum?
There's no minimum, really. I think it's actually like 10 sushi tokens. if there
Okay.
is a limit. I can't remember, honestly. It's very low. So I want to say no, but there might be one, and it might be an arbitrary one, like 5 or 10 tokens, but essentially none. You know.
Mm-hmm. And then you get like one vote per token, or how does it work with the DAOs?
With our token, current tokenomics, it's 1-to-1. So for every token you hold, you get one vote.
Okay. And did you have many DAO votings? What was the last thing that you voted about? Was that about hiring you, or has it been others?
No, I mean, there's a rich history of DAO governance that precedes my tenure here. And the total amount of votes, I have no idea. You could probably go, if you wanted to look at the signal and implementation vote history, you could go to the snapshot account page for Sushi and count it. But dozens, I would say. And ones that we've passed since I've been here. Let's see. We've done Campi vote. We've done Merkle Tree. So maybe like 4 or 5 that we've done since I've been here since October. And they're mostly like, house cleaning issues and getting back, like organizational efficiency, stuff like that. So most of what we've put up has just been, those things, getting assets and whatnot back to the treasury, getting efficiency back to the org, setting up the org level, organizational structure, all the entities and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe like half a dozen since I've been here.
Mm-hmm. So it happens a lot, and people are using it.
It
People are
happens.
voting.
Yeah, it happens as regularly or as infrequently as needed, I guess.
Yes.
It just depends on the needs of the community and the DAO, and what initiatives need to have attention and need voted on.
So how do you look at the future now and partnerships? Are you in many partnerships, or do you have some coming that you can tell us about?
Well, I'd say the most what's the right word here? The most anticipated one from our side is the partnership with Say Network, where they're an up and coming layer 1 network built in the Cosmos ecosystem that has the first fully on-chain perps code base and matching engine order book. So it's an opportunity for Sushi to be innovative in an area of the industry where it's typically not focused. Traditionally, Sushi's been mainly an EVM based DEX. We're multi-chain, and with the chains that we have quite a lot of cross-chain functionality enabled. So, but mostly it's been in the EVM based network segment of the industry. And with this is essentially us pushing into a new area, working with our infrastructure and middleware providers to build out like robust bridging options, so people from the EVM side of the industry who may not have exposure to Cosmos, or aren't going to have exposure to a product like this that Say and Sushi have put together, they're going to be able to do it through the Sushi brand, which is a trusted, multi-year, multi-hundred million still protocol that is going to offer an industry first in the perps trading area of crypto. So I would say that's mostly like what we're focused on as a team. I've put out kind of a framework how I want to see our grants system and our horizontal product development approach go. And it's something I've called or labeled Sushi Studios. And it's just like a way for us to license the brand IP of sushi and empower teams like Vortex's team on Say Network to be able to have access to Sushi's brand and, you know, the market distribution that that brand has in crypto so that they can have access to its users, but do it in a way that doesn't encumber the main DAO treasury while building these types of opportunities to grow the brand and revenue for token holders and stuff like that. So there's quite a lot that goes into any one of these types of products and making sure that they have the greatest chance of success. There's a lot of technical stuff on the exchange side of things that, you know, has to be accounted for. And so that's where we're focused the most in terms of like great products.
Let's see if we have someone maybe who wants to ask some questions. You can ask to speak and I will see you and see if I can maybe unmute you. Is there something else, Jared, that you were thinking about that you would like to bring out to our audience about SushiSwap?
That might be the toughest question yet.
Yeah, free of choice.
Um,
Why should we choose SushiSwap? Maybe you should talk about that.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's a lot to be said about brand integrity and brand trust in the marketplace. And Sushi has been, you know, it's one of, again, it's the second DEX behind Uniswap in terms of longevity. And it has that, you know, bulletproof, you know, battle tested infrastructure versus maybe a new incumbent in the DEX arena, right? Where maybe they launch and they have better incentives initially, but you don't know if their contracts are or their team's competent. You know, there's always the unknown of anything new that's not tried in the market, right? If it's going to have any kind of issues, whatever those issues are. And, you know, Sushi's had some dramatic events in its past and it's weathered them, come out the other side of those kind of personnel-based dramatic events. But during that whole tenure, or its whole tenure, you know, it's maintained a technical level of security and integrity that I think is really important when you're choosing an exchange partner. I mean, it's similar to like a centralized exchange that you may choose, right? Who, I don't know what part of the world you're in, but if you're in the US, you're going to choose Coinbase simply because it's the largest brand. They have, as far as I know, I don't believe they've ever been exploited. You know, they've been in operation going on 7 or 8 years, 9 years, something like that. And if you're in another part of the world, maybe you choose Binance, right? Because Binance is a very large brand. They have a large insurance fund. CZ's out advocating on behalf of Binance everywhere. You know, and so that's important, right? Like brand integrity, brand awareness.
Yeah, for sure. But those are centralized exchanges or centralized that you told about, and you are decentralized, right?
Right. We're decentralized. I was just using an example of like the power of a brand.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
time in market, how time in market can mean that you know, it can mean that a protocol has been battle tested. It may have been battle tested and failed. There are some examples of that, but in terms of Sushi, yeah, I mean, it's been battle tested and prevailed. So I think it's important.
Yeah. So you are the number one of the decentralized, and is that your goal or vision or?
Yeah, I mean, we're deployed. Sushi's deployed on multiple networks. I think we're over 20 networks now. And And that's kind of our mandate. We want to have Sushi deployed on as many networks as is deemed valuable by the industry and those networks that we deploy on. And then we want to build out, robust cross-chain messaging functionality for as many networks as we can. And yeah, the goal there is it's tough to be number one on each chain, but I think that there are specific chains that we're focused on. Obviously ETH mainnet, there's a lot of competition there. And over the last year and a half, really until I think I came on board, the team, had been going through some dramatic events with, some takeover, kind of hostile takeover attempts from other teams and stuff like that. But, now we're focused on a business model that we believe scales and can reclaim the lost market share that Sushi, used to have, but doesn't have anymore. So the goal is to be number one. I don't know if we can do it on every chain, but there are some specific chains we're focused on that we definitely want to see ourselves number one, and then focus on just pulling away from the competition as much as possible.
Yeah. All right. We have some people I brought up here on stage. Maybe we could have some questions. Are you ready, Jared, for some questions from the audience? Oh, you muted yourself again. I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Hello, Matt. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Hi guys, how you doing? Thanks for bringing me up. I wanted to ask just a little bit about the sort of workings and potential application for the streaming furrow payments, because I gather that basically it's the equivalent of a direct debit for crypto. Am I right?
Yeah, essentially. I mean, it's a payment streaming service, and you can vest tokens or set up a direct stream. You've got some different options there.
And so if I'm just trying to think from a payroll perspective, say I don't know, you're admins or employed for a project, and you want to guarantee they're going to be able to pay you each month. The person that's or the company that's agreeing to pay you, do they is there an option for them to lock their funds in the platform so all the employees know that every month there is definitely going to be enough funds for them to get paid all the time?
So the Furo infrastructure currently is permissioned. So as a I guess, let's just say like a DAO treasury that wants to pay its contributors, right? You would put in, I don't know, say $1 million in USDC, and you want that to be able to go to 10 different streams, right? Those streams can be set up, and the contributor would get like an NFT into their wallet that stream, takes account of the stream, and then they can withdraw at any time the proceeds of that stream whenever they want. The contributor can see the stream is active, right? They can see the amount in the pool on chain, but the way it's set up right now, it's not permissionless, where it could be locked, and the DAO that's issuing the streams does have the ability to like cancel and pause. We do have a feature planned where you'll be able to make the stream available from the DAO side and make it completely permissionless so that it can't be canceled. That's a feature within the product that we want to make available this year.
Okay, that's really good to know, because that I mean, I haven't seen anything like that anywhere else, so I don't know if that's completely unique to your platform or not, because I just haven't seen any like direct debit equivalent. One other just quick last question, if I can, then on that. When you schedule the payments for someone each month, like I don't know, say 1 Ethereum a month or something like that. Can you set that as a dollar value? So if the price of Ethereum changes, they'd get paid, whatever the dollar value of it is, rather than if the price has moved up or down too much and they end up with, you end up overpaying or underpaying.
That's actually interesting. No, it doesn't support that. Mostly it supports stable coin deposits, so that you're always, streaming a set amount. But if you do, wrapped Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that, yeah, that's actually a good suggestion and something that I would look into with the team. And Furo is a product that has a few competitors out there, but recently we were the #1 by TVL, payment streaming service. Might not be today because it's like anything else. There's an ongoing battle in the market between other competitors, but there's only a couple others that do it similarly, and each one of them has their own unique USP and features.
That's brilliant. Thanks for all the answers. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Matt. I think we have. All right. Did you have a question as well to Jared and Sushi? All right, you have to unmute yourself.
I
there
do.
You go.
Hi, Jared.
Hey, how you
Not
doing?
too bad. Do you know, I remember when SushiSwap first came out and it was a buzz. Everyone was talking about it. But now we're in a bear market. What major obstacle has SushiSwap come up against? And how do they overcome it? And what is the outlook for the future? Because, with the next bull run coming in about 400 and Bitcoin halving coming in 400 and maybe 2 days or something like that, and the focus is going to be on DeFi. What is SushiSwap doing to gain momentum, like when they first started in 21? And what obstacles did they come across, and how do they think they could do better?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think that the way I think about the the industry is kind of in layers. So like Sushi at the protocol layer is it's immutable, it's on chain, it's forever. Whether there's hype, whether there's not hype, it'll work the way it's intended and developed to work. And then you have the kind of the top layer, right? The UI layer, which could be construed as maybe the business layer, where we make everything more accessible to a broader range of people, and that's kind of the business in which the DAO focuses its efforts, right? Is pairing those two together so we have a compelling product and something people can get excited about. And I think to your the first part of your question about hype and excitement and momentum, I completely agree that Sushi's lost some of that, and it's one of the reasons they were looking for a new head chef, was to get somebody in there that could bring, I think, stability to the direction of the platform and get the team unified behind a direction and hope to recapture that momentum.
Okay.
And excitement product. But I think that the biggest obstacle really is just the same as in any other business. How do you make money? How do you serve people and your users the best way while also making a profit so that you can pay the people that are working at the DAO, right? Or at the business, however you want to label it. And so the biggest obstacle was that at one time Sushi had a rather large war chest in its treasury of, more than $500 million, and that value had been lost through a lot of the drama and then obviously the bear market and stuff like that. and you have to bring that value back in some way. And over the last 4 months that I've been here, that's been really one of the core focuses is how do we rebuild a large enough war chest so that we can pay people and that we can scale and recapture that momentum and excitement. And when I came on board, you had gone from about a $500 million treasury down to, about $12 million. And that's quite a dramatic drop, right? And since then,
Yeah, because I was checking the prices. That's why I was saying,
right. But and since I came on, like we've been able to turn that around and 5x the value of the treasury. And so, we're trending in the right direction. And if the macro environment holds on the current trend, we could see Sushi with a $200-300 million treasury within that time frame till next halving, which I think sets up the DAO and the product stack for quite a lot of success.
Okay. I look forward to seeing what SushiSwap is doing, because it was a great buzz about SushiSwap when they came out, and it's I'm just surprised at the price and that they are now, and I hope they could keep that momentum, because like you need people like SushiSwap in the ecosystem, just to give competition, and I think DeFi is going to be big in the next bull run, hopefully. So like, I'm rooting for you. Let's see what you can do, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep grinding along, and hopefully things will, for the industry, continue to turn around. I think we're trending in the right direction there.
Okay, thanks for asking my questions. Cheers.
Thank you, Norwich. Great questions, guys. Let's see if we have maybe someone else. Do you have time, Jared, or do you have to go in 10 minutes or something like that? Or
yeah, I have a couple more minutes. I do have we have our weekly all team meeting at 11 in 10 minutes, so I got time for a couple more.
Okay, so here's one question. Is it right that to get a share of the platform or exchange fees, you need to stake Sushi for X Sushi first? I mean, can you get a part of the revenue?
So that was one of the things that we actually deprecated. So part of the treasury rebuilding initiative was that the fees that had been going to X Sushi holders would go to the treasury instead. And so for now, there is no X Sushi revenue-based staking. The X Sushi token has governance rights for new proposals and stuff like that. So for now, that's turned off, but we do have plans to turn it back on once the treasury has accumulated, a significant amount of value to cover runway. The goal there with that was that we would make operational funds available to the treasury that didn't require us to have to sell Sushi into the market or to print more tokens into our supply, because we don't want to do that, right? So that's where the Campai proposal, which is the name of the proposal that was voted on, that changed that function of X Sushi for now. All
right. And would you mind mention something about the bento box? I like these names. Because if you go out and have a meal at a Japanese restaurant or a sushi place, you can have the bento box. So what is it at your sushi restaurant, Jared?
That's funny. Yeah, so so bento box is our vault infrastructure that allows anyone who interacts with Sushi to hold their funds in bento box so that they can earn additional yield. And we're actually in the process of refactoring and revamping Bento Box so that we can offer multiple strategies with the vault infrastructure so that we can increase yield. So where you may go to Uniswap to trade and you commit liquidity, right? Your idle liquidity is just going to sit there and not do much when you don't have a swap coming through. With Bento Box on Sushi, your idle liquidity gets put into these strategies that generate yield, and then you're earning these passive APYs again on that idle liquidity when you're not having trades routed through that pool. And so it's a way for our exchange to be more capital efficient, for users and for depositors. Maybe I shouldn't say depositors, but for LPs.
Yeah, okay. I get it. All right. So I used on these bases, I sometimes ask, or well, I used to ask the pizza question, Jared, if you like pineapple on your pizza. But today I feel like we should talk more about sushi. And is there something called sushi on pizza? Have you tried
God,
that?
I hope not. I think the closest you would get would be like anchovies on a pizza, right?
Okay. But
You guys,
yeah, anchovies is not like raw fish, is it? Or maybe it
no,
is. I don't.
it's like, but I like pineapple on pizza. It's fine. Hopefully that doesn't cause us to lose anybody as a customer.
No, it's fine. Everyone can do what they want, right? We even had Italians up here saying they. I'm not sure they're alive still, but they said that they like pineapple on pizza. But there is a sushi pizza actually. The base is like rice, and then there are sushi things or fish on top of it. But I've never tried it. Maybe someone else has. You should go try that,
Yeah,
Jared.
I've never heard of that. I'm not sure I'm going to seek it out either.
You're not a sushi expert yet, are you?
No, I'm pretty basic. Like I said at the beginning, I like the salmon on rice and the California roll and some ginger slices.
Yeah. But
Pretty
about
basic.
all these names that you have in sushi umbrella, you don't have wasabi, do you?
That's a good question. I don't think there's ever been a product featured with wasabi as the
We are looking
name.
forward to that now, Jared. We're looking forward to the wasabi.
You know what? Maybe that's the name for the perpetual DEX platform. Wasabi DEX. I don't know.
Okay. We will see then. Well, it has been a pleasure having you here, and I would like to ask you one last question. That is, what is your long-term, or what is Sushi's long-term vision if you see not just beyond the next bull run, but even further? Where is Sushi going to be in well, 3 to 5 years?
That's a great question. And I think that the way I view sushi is the way I view the long-term value proposition of all exchanges, at least in the decentralized fashion, in that it's a public good. That the things we're having to do now to make the exchange competitive, like Campi and kind of having a core team and stuff like that, those are all temporary, and that eventually Sushi. My goal here while I'm here is to set Sushi up so that it can operate without any kind of centralized core team or contributors, and that any revenue that it generates is wholly backed to token holders, and it operates as a service for the public without any kind of intermediary or core team or core contributor, however you want to call it, needed to be involved. And I think that that's the ethos and kind of the original mission of Sushi, and where I'm helping the team and the community get it back into that area or that trajectory, but by having to do things now that came about because there wasn't maybe a framework of the way this should have optimally been done. And so that's my focus. And I think that, you know, additionally, you have to solve a couple of problems that plague the industry that aren't just for, you know, problems for sushi to solve, but for the industry. And it's, how do you, after you bootstrap liquidity with emissions, because that's kind of how all of DEXs do it, right? They bootstrap liquidity with emissions or rewards, and that's not a sustainable strategy. And so where we have focused a large portion of our efforts since I came on is how do we build sustainable value for stakeholders that are involved in the sushi ecosystem, where we're not diluting them with additional token supply, because that's not sustainable value. And so that's where I'd like to see it all go. When I'm not here anymore, I'd like to look back and see sushi still running and thriving. And I know that's
a great vision. Yeah, it's a great vision.
Well, I appreciate it. It's, I think a
Do you
vision.
think it's going to be possible? Because, I mean, that's the goal for many DEX projects, right? To just have them run automatically without interference of a team, or, I mean, it's a really good thought, but is it possible? Is it really possible?
So, one, I think it's possible. I don't know that we've hit on the formula for it yet. And two, I would say I would be somewhat controversial and disagree with the statement that most DEXs want to be self-sustaining. I think most DEXs are operating in the interests of the people who launch them or the teams that run them, and that they're more a business and an enrichment tool than a public good. And so that I think most DEXs over the long term fail, just like most businesses fail, and the ones that succeed are gonna serve crypto in its communities with that ethos, whether they like it or not. And so my vision is just like believing that crypto started off this way. It's supposed to empower people, serve people, and that's what these protocols are supposed to do. We're in somewhat of a contentious pivot right now, or like time in Sushi's history, because a lot of the value that existed and the innovation that was there and the excitement and momentum, like I talked about with the gentleman before, you know, got abstracted and leaked away. And so we have to rebuild that, set up a framework, like a government almost, right? That's what a DAO is. It's a governance body. But you set a framework up that's a little bit more rigid so that the core parts of the protocol can operate without being, you know, co-opted or changed for you know, against the community, or not for the benefit of the community. And so that's the real challenge. How do you put that framework in place?
Yeah, but it's a really admirable vision, and I like it, and I wish you the best of luck with it, and I really hope we will get there too. So yeah, it was a pleasure having you here, Jared, talking about sushi and SushiSwap. And now I want some sushi.
Well,
No, but
maybe it's dinner time or lunchtime where you are. So yeah, good
yeah,
luck
it's
on your.
dinner time. It's 5 p.m. So I should go and get some sushi maybe. Anyway, Jared, great having you here. And please, I would like you to have a closing statement or a few last words, or say something to our audience, whatever you want to. So
Yeah, I
go
guess
ahead.
I'll do the traditional CEO plug. Go follow us on Twitter. Join our Discord. If you're a community member already, you know, get active, ask questions, join the forum. one thing I really enjoy is feedback from people who are involved in the ecosystem, because they're your customers, and the whole reason you're a business is to serve customers. So getting that feedback's invaluable, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming, Jared, and please come back anytime and talk more if you find the wasabi, we would like to know. And maybe some other great features coming out soon on SushiSwap or Sushi, the umbrella Sushi. Thank you everyone for coming, and if you have remaining questions about Sushi, where is the best way to ask them, Jared? Where should they go? Do you have Telegram or Discord?
Telegram. Yeah, Telegram, Twitter. You can @ me or @ Sushi. Yeah, Telegram, Discord, Twitter, all the basic social media coverage.
Very good.
Yeah.
Great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. And go and grab some sushi now, will you? With or without wasabi. It's too strong for me, but you can have it if you want.
All right, Mary, you have a good day. Thanks
Yeah,
for
you have
inviting
a
me.
good day. Get some more coffee or
All right.
something to eat.
All right,
See you
thanks.
later, Jared.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Have a nice day, evening, night, whatever, wherever you are, guys. See you tomorrow again. We have another AMA coming up here, so stay tuned for that. Bye for now. Bye-bye.